we're ready now to dive in and start putting together the room structure so our application here can save things into a database, local database. First, let's go to our model, our note. Now, the way things are right now, you see this is just a data class. We pass a few parameters and life is good. However, how do we then transform this into an actual entity, meaning into an actual table, database table? It's very simple to do so thanks to Room Database, because remember, Room Database abstracts out all of the things we had to do prior to Room to create a table and so forth. So now we can use a class like this and transform it into an actual table, or rather to make it so that the compiler, the Room compiler, will create a table with this name or a name that we want to pass. All right, how do we do that? Yes, you guessed it. We pass in an @ this is an annotation. I'm going to say entity like this. Aha, you can see there's an entity from Android X Room. That's exactly what we want. And the great thing here is that we can actually pass the table name. If we start typing table name like this, we can pass a table name that we want. Now, if we don't pass anything, right, what would happen is that the processor, the Room processor, will take this note here as a table name. So in this case, I'm just going to change it to something else. I'm going to say notes TBL like this, to say this is a notes table. All right. Very good. Now, the other thing I want to do is I want to make sure that we annotate each one of these fields so that they are actually columns of our table. What we want to do, we want to make each one of these fields to be a row by attaching certain annotations. So the first annotation I'm going to pass here, I'm going to say primary key, to say that this ID here, when we start putting this into table, or this becomes a table, whenever we create an item, we create a table, notes table, and we add a new item, it's going to be seen as the primary key, which is a unique key that will be used in our table to reference it. Okay, so there we go. I'm going to say primary key, and I can leave as it is. And then I'm going to put @column to say that I want to give a name to this column different from this title name. I could leave it as it is, but I'm going to specify a different name. I'm going to say note title. Right, let's give spaces so we can see everything. And then @column info. And this is going to be name. I'm going to say note description. That. And then the last one here, I'm going to say the same thing. For name, I'm just going to say note entry. Now I'm going to change this local date type, pass a date like this, and this will change. I'm going to say date.from and pass an instance. I'm going to say instance.now. Okay, so I'm just changing the types. That would have worked also, but this is much better for what we want to do. All right, there we go. So that's what we're doing here. What we did, we created an entity. We're saying this is going to be now a table and give a name, notes table. Okay, all of these is going to be created internally. Just to give an idea, all of this we had to manually do before Room. Really hard. But now all we have to do is just pass inside of our model class note. I'm going to pass all of these annotations to say Room database, whenever this is read, it's going to know, okay, I'm going to make a table and name it notes table, and I'm going to create an ID, and this is going to be primary key, and then these are also going to be columns. So this table is going to be column called title, which is going to store titles. Column name description, actually it's going to be note description and note title, right? This is what we're doing here. And a column of note entry date, which is going to hold dates. And there you have it, right? Now, at this point, you may ask, okay, how is the database created? We haven't created the database yet, and we're going to do that in the next video.